The U-20 arc in Blue Lock might just be the series' magnum opus. To put into words how undisputably good this arc is, it's impossible. That's why I'm gonna put into words how undisputably good this arc is. I'm too excited thinking about how I get to talk about this for real. It's my favorite part in Blue Lock so far. Today, I'll be primarily discussing the manga with tidbits of season 2. Build up, hype, consequences, stakes, moments, and climaxes. This arc has it all. With football careers and the Blue Lock project on the line, this upcoming match betting everyone's futures at stake will either show the culmination of what Blue Lock has produced for Japanese football, or the absolute mockery this project sunk hundreds of millions into. To make sure this match will truly test if Blue Lock has what it takes to change Japanese football and potentially compete at the highest level, the U-20 Japanese team has added Etching Sae to their starting lineup. This is because Sae is personally intrigued in the Blue Lock project himself. He wants to see if this is the real deal for Japan to produce a world-class striker. He was Japan's #1 prospect before going international, so he should have the best gauge on what it takes and who might have it in them. Because it certainly isn't himself. His ego got shit on so badly, he changed his whole life goal. Sae made it clear that he wants a certain striker from the Blue Lock project to play with him in this match, if he's going to be playing for this dogshit national team. Especially the strikers, they're utter ass. Rin being the younger brother of this genius, the #1 of Blue Lock, and still a striker, I assumed Sae was going to pick him. Looking back, that definitely doesn't make as much narrative sense as I thought at the time, but the twist of Shido EryiZ being the player that was picked is still just as hype to me. He's super talented, and it'd be such a waste to not have him play. Blue Lock's team is centered around Rin, and they can't possibly have Shido play if that's the case. Those two have the absolute worst chemistry and are completely unable to function on the field together. Plus, it's not just Rin. No one can really mesh or sync up well with Shido. He's too uncontrollable. For other strikers, that is. But Sae has the ability to tame this wild demon. I really like this because it makes perfect sense. Having transitioned to a midfielder, Sae takes on a lot more of a playmaking role than a scoring one, which I think is a lot more fitting of his playstyle, as in the flashback to Rin's backstory and memories growing up, Sae had always been like this. Even at that time, when he wanted to be the world's best striker, he was always shown passing to Rin to score. He's constantly playmaking for Rin, which is good for scoring, but not good for scoring his own goals. So perhaps it was inevitable that when this superstar from Japan went overseas to become the world's best striker, his dreams were unavoidably crushed. Facing the reality that there are other sick players out there, even more amazing than him, he had his ego shattered. His dream had now changed, transitioning to becoming the world's best midfielder, knowing he isn't good enough to attain best striker anymore. But like I said, this switch makes a lot of sense of his character and playstyle. Now Rin will be the best striker in the world, and he can receive passes from the best midfielder, like how they've always played together. However, to Rin, Sae's new dream is absurd. Anything other than being the best striker is worthless, right? What happened to that older brother he thought was so cool and had looked up to so much? What happened to the older brother that wanted to be the best striker and was the reason for why Rin picked up football? What happened to the bustling, kind older brother that was smiling and that he had shared a dream with? This imposter is not the Sae he knew. Sae, looking apathetic and defeated, exclaims they are both tepid or lukewarm. If Rin can best him right here, right now, he'll share that same dream with him once again. Though the difference in skill is night and day, the 4 years Sae's been away has not been fruitless, and Rin stands no chance. Even now shifted to a midfielder, Sae easily bests his little brother. This was the catalyst that changed Rin forever. It sickens Sae that he's the excuse for Rin to play football. If Rin doesn't want to play football anymore, then just quit. Rin's just a nuisance, a little brother who's nothing more than a pain in the neck. But this worthless little brother Sae doesn't need anymore finds his new purpose, new ego. His reason for playing football is now to crush Etching Sae in his dream, because he ruined Rin's dream and sullied their memories. Now, the opportunity to make that a reality is here. It's time to beat Etching Sae, his shitty older brother. The one who's picked Shido over him. Is Rin not good enough for him to play with? We'll see. Though, who's going to be backing up the #1 player and captain of the Blue Lock 11? Ego's picks for who's in the starting lineup is so well thought out. Making a team formed around Rin, who has the highest goal average, you wonder who's going to be on it, and especially when this team's players are all strikers. Like, who's going to play defense, the midfield, and most importantly, goalie? Well, the goalkeeper is none other than our lovable Gargamaru. Due to his spring-like body, flexibility, and explosive reactions, it allows him to be best fitted for the position of blocking goals. These traits sound well suited for that position too. To have the physical qualities needed to be a stellar goalie and the reaction for it just makes perfect sense to have Gargamaru as the goalie. The next two are the two centre backs, Aiku and Nico. Have Aiku pressure on attackers with his height and reach, and Nico for his brains, because he's good at stealing the ball with how he can anticipate what's going to happen. As long as Aiku gets to show off how glam he is, there's no problem with him being in a defensive position. The two side backs are our beloved Baichira and Chigiri, who will blitz the enemy with speed or outskill past them with their dribbling. Having them on the outside/wing positions is genius, as their potential can be brought out the most on those sides of the field, usually being isolated matchups and having more space to work with. The connecting piece and defensive midfielder, they'll link everyone up, the third ranked player, Karasu. With his analytical skills and being the best at keeping the ball in blue lock, he'll be the heart of the team, beating life into everyone as he can deduce the best chances of scoring. The wing forwards are the 4th and 5th ranked strikers in blue lock, Otoya and Yukimiya. One whose weapon is similar to Narahaya's, but he's better at in brackets getting behind the opponents, and one who dominates one-on-ones. Our two offensive midfielders are 2 of 3 goats. The ball control super genius Nagi, and our goat who fulfills the assertion and coexistence requirement as his shadow, Isagi. Because we can't not have Mr. Super Genius not be in the starting lineup, and our main man is the most compatible with Rin, whilst possessing the skill to score himself. The decision making from Ego is superb. To have such talents riding on the bench because they can't have everyone on makes this lineup all the more hype. Even Tokimitsu, who was the 3rd ranked player of the 2nd selection, Rayo, who's the king of all trades, and my glorious king Barou, didn't make the starting lineup. Even though my king embodies Ego's philosophy on what it takes to be the best striker in the world so well, his play style is exactly why he didn't make it. He won't sync up well with a formation played around someone else, but my king will get his time to shine, don't you worry. Since Shido was going to be Ego's Joker card, but he got picked up by Sae, someone else has to take his place. So who could be more fitting, I wonder? But Shido doesn't even play because Aiku, the super stud defender of the U-20 Japanese national team, wants to make a bet with Sae. Due to Shido's complete incompatibility with specifically their ace striker Sendo, he doesn't want to use him. Let them win without using Shido, and let's see what Sae can bring to the table. It's bait, but Sae agrees, so let's see how good the national team is compared to Blue Lock. Don't get it twisted though, Sae is the one testing them. If they're ass, he's out. One thing I want to go over before talking about the actual match is the idea of flow that gets introduced. Well, formally at least, because it's been showcased throughout the show numerous times already, but now it gets a name. All the awakening moments in that instance, those players were in a state of flow. But what is flow? To simply put it, the state in which one fully immerses themselves in absolute concentration on the activity they're doing. A trance people can experience that even has them losing sense of time passing with how focused they are. I think without me explaining, you could infer what is meant by flow. It can be applied to any activity. For example, gaming, playing an instrument, creating art, or in today's case, during a football match. How does one enter the flow state? Challenge-based concentration, meaning facing a challenge of optimal difficulty. Ego has a chart for this. If it's too easy, you face boredom. If it's too hard, you get anxious, believing success is unattainable. So you can't experience joy in either extreme state. Assessing one's current abilities, controlling them, and taking on challenges relative to their skill level, humans can immerse themselves in a flow state. What does flow do? It allows you to elevate yourself to a new level and produce unprecedented results you could have not done before. Even miracles are produced from various flow states, but something like getting sucked into your phone or TikTok is not flow state. It's a passive trance that helps you forget time passing, sure, but it is not unique to you. It is not ego. Ego is that joy unique only to you, the joy that allows for flow to occur. I would assume that at some or various points in your life, you've experienced flow. Maybe it was your own football or sports match. Maybe it was when you finally locked in for the academic comeback. At some point, you experienced it. This factor will be the deciding one to dictate what future awaits the Blue Lock project. On game day, Blue Lock 11 must enter the flow to ensure victory, not only for the future of Japanese football, but their own future. The crowd and hype that's presented in the Blue Lock world for this match is literally just us if we were in the series. It's us at the stadium cheering on, rallying up and getting excited because holy shit, this match is insane. What I really love is everyone getting their moment to shine. Like everyone gets their flowers in this match, regardless of whatever position they've been given. All the goals are so fucking exhilarating. Like this shit got me on the edge of my seat, jumping out of my chair and shit. This match is only the true beginning of their journey to stardom, and the first test to see if they have what it takes to have a chance of winning the World Cup. If season 1 had you hyped, this goes beyond any of that, which is why season 2 is so depressing at times. One thing I need to point out as I yap about this match is how goddamn good the art is. It's just so clean, and those landscape pages especially are so heat. Don't get me started on the goals, because holy shit, it's unreal how much reading this is such a treat visually. We'll talk further more as we move along. One can probably guess in a real match, things will rarely ever go as planned. Their first attack expectedly did not go as they practiced. Practice is just ripping out techniques or skills without the overwhelming factor of stress. This applies to anything, whether it's stress from mental health, like something coming up, your body being injured so you're cautious, or the most glaring one in sports, the crowd. Stress can make or break a person's performance. No amount of practice can just overcome this problem. Like choking in crunch time is a common problem for athletes. Some athletes just do not have what it takes to perform well when it matters most. Although things aren't going the way Blue Lock anticipated, the way they can overcome this stress is through ad-libbing or improvisation. This is where real winners are born. Things will seldom go according to plan when you set out to achieve something. Losers will try to make an excuse for their failure and waste time trying to correct things in order to calm themselves down. Winners will rise to the occasion, adjust to their challenge and adapt to whatever new circumstances they're in while still moving towards their objective. It's just a new challenge. A real life example I could give is Damian Lillard's buzzer beater 3-pointer against the Houston Rockets. His play wasn't planned, but an improvisation that won them the game and the series. The Blue Lock 11 have showcased time after time that even under stress, they can always overcome it and adjust to their new challenge. They've never played against real defenders who train day in, day out working solely on their defense, but it doesn't mean they'll just throw in the towel. It doesn't make them anxious. It's an obstacle they're now going to overcome. Games never going as planned and the anomalies that happen during matches, Blue Lock thrives off. They use this to their advantage in this match. The most important one of their careers thus far. There are going to be a lot of things happening that are simply impossible to predict. With Sae being in the game, you cannot account for what Rin might end up doing. This quickly gets showcased as just 7 minutes into the game, Sae scores a goal that is so indescribably sick. It really sets the level and standard this match will be played at. No one in Blue Lock saw it coming from how far on the outside he shot, which just makes it all the more gas. A shot that spits on everyone's face, expecting him to pass into the center. Just a taster of how much better he is than everyone else in this match, because that goal, he wasn't even really trying. The only thing that goal did for him was prove a point. The whole time he's been present with the national team, he's constantly talked down to them, calling them shit or incompetent. It only got further backed up as Sendo, their ace striker, missed his shot, so Sae had to score himself. Like Sendo couldn't even score on a guy who's first time in goalie? How pathetic. 3 times Sae could have scored, but intentionally didn't to give a chance to the actual strikers. They suck at their job and squandered the opportunity, so Sae keeps up his attitude, berating them for being unable to do their job. I mean, it's a striker's job to score, so I can't even hate when they get shit on for it. In addition, Sae does actually bring up a valid point that a midfielder shouldn't have better scoring abilities than the representative star strikers of the national team. It makes the strikers of this team seem unworthy of such such a title. Sae leads by example and actually walks the walk. He can back up his shit talk. This is also on top of his out of this world perfect passing ability he's demonstrated. Such precision and quick decision making that it feels nearly impossible to counter for anyone up against him. Sae's early goal is the catalyst of what's to come. Blue Lock are able to bounce back, not letting the early goal get to their heads too much. None of their players' weapons worked in their first attack. This doesn't hinder the upcoming attempt though. Rin is the one who has Isagi not lose sight after Sae's goal. In 90 minutes, he'll have those cheers turn into screams of anguish. Isagi just has to look at Rin. I think what Rin is saying at this moment is to keep calm and don't stress. If he's stressing, keep his eyes on Rin to remind him to stay composed. Eyes on the prize being winning. So when things seem grim, look at him. Fastening the pace of their attack and following their ego for their own goals, they break through the defense. Rin has an easy opportunity at scoring right in front of the goal, but opts out of that and intentionally goes further out, worsening his shooting angle. Not only that, but he's kicking with his non-dominant left leg, all in order to try and replicate the same goal as his brother, wanting to prove that he's better. Rin completely follows his personal desire that could have easily sabotaged his team and wasted this opportunity, which nearly happened since his shot missed as the goalie nudged the shot, but Yukimiya got the second ball. Isagi opens up a window of opportunity by getting in good range for a pass that makes the defender hesitate and react a split second too late. Yuki shoots, and it would have been a goal had Aiku not saved it in the nick of time. Daira, one of U-20's Iron Wall quartet, goes to clear the blocked shot, but in that mere moment he takes his eyes off Otoya for what could be only a couple seconds. Otoya slips through and takes a shot at goal. Their attempt is blocked again by Neo, another one of their Iron Wall quartet. Though there is still hope, Nagi's chance to shine comes, and he delivers. On two defenders, as he fakes a shooting motion to bait them and does a lift tap that lifts the ball into the air, so then he can perform a jumping turn to have an open shot at goal. Even the animators cooked with this one. Nagi coldly exclaims, "Hajimemashite." As he scores an unbelievable first goal for Blue Lock. The crowd is silent for a small fraction of time, and Nagi's like, shit, did I fuck up my introduction? Then immediately screams and cheers as watchers in the stadium, watchers of TV or online, get overwhelmingly excited from this super goal. Like it got me as hyped as them as well. I'm jumping up and down, running around and shit. The art for this goal is so damn fire. It was so fire that the animators of season 2 knew they couldn't mess up this moment too, because the goal in the anime is just as heat as well. Then Nagi with that cold ass fist pump celebration, sitting down chilling and shit, is too cold and so fitting of his character. His celebration is some light and effortless that doesn't scream out hype, but it's still cool. What a banger start to the match so far. All that was made possible because of Rin's ego. His own inner ambition to try to prove a point created an unpredictable situation that his team hastily adapted to, which is what led them to their first goal. This was Rin's own way of improvisation, and you'll see throughout this match, everyone on the team devours little by little at Rin and his play, especially Isagi. As Ego states, Isagi is the key to Rin's awakening. Sae makes a perfect pass after beating Rin real quick. Like a bullseye cross, that's money on the spot. Nico sees all this, baits like he doesn't, and clears the ball whilst the ball was in midair from Sendo's trapping of it. Karasu, Otoya, and Chigiri are able to get past the defense, but Chigiri has to make a pass. He tries passing to Karasu, but it gets intercepted by Sae. The ball falls to Rin, but Aiku is marking him. Aiku knows Rin's shot with his left leg is ass compared to his right, so he'll leave open the route for a shot with his left leg, whilst killing the path for a shot from his right. Aiku's got him all figured out, except Rin then does the unthinkable. He shoots with his right leg anyway, and gives the shot an outside spin to counteract Aiku's plan. This one had everyone shocked. Captain vs captain, Rin comes out on top, with none other than a goal that's not only visually stunning, but was completely unforeseeable. Just like his celebration, it's quick, short, telling us the game is nowhere near done. He needs to score more. One goal won't satisfy him. In the last few minutes of the first half, to everyone's surprise, the U-20 being down 2-1, they get desperate and launch launch an all-out attack. Cho, U-20's left winger, gets a shot blocked by Gagamaru, but the ball then goes to Sae, who splits the defense. Another superb pass that could have potentially led to a goal gets anticipated and interrupted by Rin. Rin's clear of it sends it right back to Sae to take his own shot on goal though. His shot zoomed past everyone and would have been a goal, if not for EryiZ, who in that brief moment reacted just fast enough to block it using his reach to its fullest. Holy shit, what could have been another goal by Sae was EryiZ's highlight moment that gave me absolute goosebumps. He was indeed exceptionally glam, and like that, they can keep the score up 2-1 against the national team. Pretty irrelevant, but that little moment with Chigiri and his family and Otoya being like, yo, who's that baddie? And Karasu teasing him about it, I thought it was quite funny. During this halftime, Sae's like, I'm about to dip. Y'all are all ass. He showed what he could bring to the U-20 team, but the team couldn't keep up, so he's outies. Besides, he's satisfied with what he saw out of Blue Lock, even Rin. So he doesn't need to be a part of this match any longer. Aiku comes to terms with what is the most crushing and painful feeling he has ever experienced, and that is he and his team are weak. They currently don't have what it takes to win, and at this rate they'll lose their spots and end up disappearing. There's no one on the team that can keep up with Sae, and not even Blue Lock currently, so let's finally use our little demon in waiting, Send and Shido, all going according to Aiku's plan, huh? Fair game. Now it's time for the lead actors to shine bright in the second half. Blue Lock's untamable demon will take flight onto the stage. Before the second half starts, Blue Lock is all cheery in the locker room, but Ego brings them down to earth and reminds them they've still accomplished absolutely nothing. So keep the fire burning and continue to overwhelm the opponent. There's only a need for one protagonist of this game, and if that's the case, can it really be Sae or Shido who will win the match? Maybe, as the second half is like what Sae says. Him and Shido are the headliners for this game. The instant impact from Shido coming on the field is crazy. Remember, Shido is from Blue Lock, so he acts in accordance for himself. His play and movement are so illogical that it sends both teams into confusion, and they're unable to predict and react properly. From the gate, U-20's new attack centered around Shido is immediately effective, with even Sendo, who can't stand Shido, is playing around him as is what Sae says to do. They're only able to stop Shido from scoring with Nico, who envisioned it all, having to foul him. Shido gets a free kick, but neither him nor Sae can realistically score with how it's currently set up. So Sae suggests Shido finds a play that's a balance of realistically possible and ideal. Our demon comes up with some insane play no one saw coming, made only possible because he's with Sae. Shido feints the free kick, and it's actually Sae taking the shot. Chigiri without hesitation notices and reacts, knowing Sae will pass to Shido, sprinting at maximum speed to intercept the pass. Sae's pass is so pinpoint that he accounted for Chigiri's speed and kicked it to where he couldn't even reach it at max speed. Shido jumps and oh my god, look at these panels! The drawing is fucking immaculate. His aura demon wings, his demonic face, all leading to this commanding kick that lands goal. The goal sent shockwaves to the crowd and Blue Lock. Barely a fraction into the second half, we're shown a glimpse of Shido x Sae's chemical reaction. One that might dictate the whole match with how fierce it is. Mr. Genius, who's calculated, precise, and efficient, linked with Mr. Unfathomable, who purely plays on instinct. Even the anime cooked so hard for this goal. Chigiri's run, Sae's pass, Shido's kick, that bumpin' soundtrack. And the animation. Holy shit, they did not disappoint. Now, after scoring in the actual match, he's hitting the fucking freezer pose as his celebration and literally starts climaxing. I mean, that goal was so hype, it kind of made me Isagi grasped that the play was made possible because they both acted reflexively. Reflex x reflex. Like damn, they all just spontaneously did that? That's pretty fucking impressive. Sae very well seems like the key to unlocking Shido's potential. So much so, he'll give Shido his contact info if he scores a hat-trick because Shido asked so kindly. Nico, who injured himself when he fouled Shido, and Chigiri, who doesn't have the stamina to go on any longer, are subbed out. I think here we're shown the direction with Nico's character onwards as well, as he tells Isagi how fun it is to crush strikers as a defender. He's been doing this ever since the start of Blue Lock 2, in their first match against each other. and continues so into the Neo Egoless League. Shigiri had to play offense and defense at max output, so he's all tuckered out. The time he spent trying to run away from himself looking for a reason to quit football has come back to bite him in the ass. So badly, he's in tears when he's subbed out. Ego reminds him to hold on to that frustration, to remind him where he's at now, so he knows how much further he has to keep building himself to become the best. Our two subs that go on are Hiyori, a passing playmaker, and Rayo, the king, not Jack, of all trades. Rayo's been watching the match closely, especially at the defense, as that's the position he subbed in for. It's his turn to do his part in nullifying the U-20's counterattack. He does so with his newfound ego. The chameleon strikes and copies Aiku's move at the start of the game to perfectly clear the ball. Now, here comes what could be the best goal. It's not my favorite, but holy shit, it blows my mind. Like, what this match has been doing the whole time. In a small exchange of dialogue where Shido tells Sae he loves playing football with him. It's the first time he's felt like someone understands him and his freedom. As he looks up at the stars, he says he feels a big bang coming. Wow, how genius. Shido's weapon is his extreme spatial awareness to steal a goal with all his being. Scoring awareness or penalty area perfection. Even if his back is turned to the goal, he knows exactly where it is. All the cells in his body exist purely to score goals. He's internally monologuing about how every single human on the planet in one way or another wants to leave proof of their existence behind. They connect with others, hurt others, and ultimately do things to remain in the memory of others. It is only through the eyes of others that our lives have any meaning. Just something that's always stuck with me after watching Naruto. I'm in agreement with this quote, that what gives our lives true meaning are people who see us, pay attention to us, and care for us. It heavily applies to this moment with Shido. Whether it be creating something, wanting to be something, or the most glaring and best example being having your own descendants or offspring. Everyone wants to carve something to show proof that once upon a time they existed. It just so happens for Shido it is football. To him, a goal is fertilization, a shot is the seed, and the goal is the egg. The birth of that joy is what he calls an explosion, and that is his ego. A joy unique only to him. It probably explains why he's always using that word specifically. Amidst all this, Sae intercepts the kick from Gagamaru and passes it back to Shido, who reflexively moves towards the goal. In a 1v1 with the goalkeeper, Gagamaru stuns everyone by actually advancing up out of the goal and headering it away. Shido's chance is now lost, is what we thought for a second. He starts feeling a crazy unknown sensation. The ball seems too far away, but he is hyper fixated on it, and it can feel the goal with his back turned. All his cells are commanding him to jump and score a super goal. Shido is now in the flow, and is the first one in the game to do so. This challenge is enough for him to enter a state that sends rifts through the match. This misunderstood demon takes flight looking rather graceful and heavenly, and performs a bicycle kick he calls Big Bang Drive. Ha, get it? Because he said earlier he feels a big bang coming? Get it? He announces with excitement to all the shitheads in the world who don't know him yet that his goals, his genes, are going to knock them up. Meaning the proof of his existence, that being football and his goals, is what will give them joy and cement him in their memories. The panel of him celebrating is top tier. That scream and jump of excitement with his demon look coming out, it's so beautiful, man. To know this was done better in the anime, that's what I'm talking about. I love the sequence in the anime. The animation, the adding of the cells weaved in between that looked like, well, we'll say fertilization. The angelic look of when he hits the pose when he jumped up, the ball turning into a comet or meteor, and to top it all off, the scream of his celebration with the super goal. Perfection. Nothing short of it. Gives me goosebumps that this goal was done better and exceeded expectations. All because Sae is in this match playing with him. This super talent of a midfielder is the one who unlocks Shido's full capabilities and brings out the best in him. Honestly, it kind of makes sense that no one in Blue Lock could do it, as they also possess high egos of that caliber and are strikers as well. Sae is a midfielder who playmakes and whose outstanding passes were a challenge that excited Shido to take on. Enough so that he entered the flow. Rin is obviously beyond infuriated, seeing that It's that intended freak that arouses Oz that Sae wants to play with instead of him, and how well synced up they are. Here comes the moment we've all been waiting for. After Ego was like, I ain't got no plan, to Isagi when he asked, going on about how Blue Lock's already won because Shido's from Blue Lock and he's popping off, Rin's super talent so he'll definitely get scouted, and none of them will disappear. They'll draw attention, get offers, and change Japanese football. They've already won. Isagi's like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Losing here is the same as dying. Probably picked that up from his boyfriend Rin. And they aren't ready to die yet. Isagi is yet to become the best in the world, so make them win, shitty Four Eyes. That's the ego he taught them. I'm about to shed a tear, man. Shakespeare could never. Isagi's dialogue and how he's drawn, god damn, that's my Isago. But it's still not your time yet, Isagi. Now's the time for the man who's been sitting in silence, quietly and furiously waiting his turn. It's time that my glorious king arrives on the field. The Joker card Ego is waiting. Otoya is the last substitution. Later's ninja dude, it's the king's time to show his glory. The first thing he does on the field is tell Isagi his plays are fucking boring. There's just two jokes, man. Then we find out Ego was literally just trolling us. He never intended of throwing the match. So what the fuck was all that talk about before? Bro is trolling for fun. Nah, I'm playing. It was probably to ignite the flame inside the team, but still, it just feels funny. It flashes back to Ego telling Barou to ignore the play they set up if he's on the field with Yukimiya as well. And Barou's like, I was already planning to? This guy, man, god, I love him. He's told to devote everything to devouring Isagi, which is probably what Barou was intending to do anyway. And clearly so, as the first thing he does is steal the ball away from Isagi, throwing his team and his opponents into dismay. Now we have another Mr. Unpredictable on the field, but he's on the team we're rooting for. He pulls off his signature chop dribble, then goes further out to then another chop dribble. No one can make sense of this illogical playstyle. Barou finally takes a shot that's pretty difficult to make, so it misses. With Barou now on the field, he's completely flipped the game and the enemy's formation has crumbled. Yuki is the one who receives the missed shot and finds his flow, besting Nero, who had locked him down previously. His street football dribble style is such a treat to look at. The way he's weaving into spaces, doing tricks on it, and finally arrives at his shot course. What a sequence. Even having his original shot course being erased, his flow guides him, and he does his signature gyro shot. It would have certainly been a goal, if not for Aiku, who subtly and reflexively moved to make it in time to block Yuki's shot. At the most critical time in the game, Aiku entered the flow before Yuki did. Aiku, a superstar defender who's already been offered a position at a major league Italian club. Wonder what that could entail for his future. Anyway, Aiku this match really embodied that title of Iron Wall. Defenders are the cops and strikers are the robbers, and as long as he's on duty, they're always going to get caught. Right now, Isagi has not entered the flow yet. As he's set his sights on Aiku as his challenge he needs to overcome to enter flow. Aiku has neutralized every one of Isagi's attempts at scoring thus far. He can move reflexively, which is what Isagi is aiming for, so he's the perfect challenge. We're given Aiku's past and shown what drives him to be the best defender in the world. This match, he wanted to test himself to see where he stands, because he wants to be the best, and he got humbled by the reality that this Blue Lock project might be the real deal. The real deal that will change the future of Japanese football forever and for the better. Aiku, once upon a time, had also dreamed of becoming the world's best striker, but ultimately had his dreams fade away from all the adults uttering the same load of shit. Play for your team, for the sake of others, shit like that. The nonsense that is the contrasting philosophy to Blue Locks. His coach even threatened him not being able to play if he doesn't conform to the ideology of football's a team sport, hence why Aiku needs his guidance. All these coaches will only give water to the sprouts that are allowed to bloom, or the ones that they can control. They dictate who's allowed to reach their full potential and where. Before you even realize it, you become the same as everyone else. The same flower. A conforming sheep that has to adhere and obey the coach's orders. Nothing makes you stick out or truly blossom. Aiku was no exception, and without even realizing, he forgot how to bloom. There wasn't anything that separated himself from others, and the joy of football was lost. Even though he was a starting forward for the team that won the junior high championship, he didn't score much, only making lots of assists. It's good for the team, but not for him. This wasn't the football that he wanted to play, and this version was the one that sucked the joy for him. His coach affirms that he's great and he'll go pro for sure, but something like that isn't enough to satisfy Aiku. Get money, marry a famous woman, and be kind of happy, Sendo's goal amount, is something that could never satisfy him. He can't fault his coach because he, at the end of the day, is the one who conformed to the coaches, not sticking to his true beliefs. This is when he discovers his new ego, as he no longer believes he can become the best striker in the world. He will aim to be the world's best defender. He wants to destroy these sorry-ass, boring strikers people like his coach and Japan are mass-producing. He won't give in to anyone saying otherwise. This is for him. He'll now bloom for himself and his own sake. Fuck that football for someone else shit. Though, the day a true striker appears and is having difficulties to bloom in this country, he swears he will never allow that bud to be plucked. In his own way, he'll reach out his hand and be someone who can tell them to bloom. That may very well be the Blue Lock team he is facing at this very moment. He'll help them by being the last line of defense, a real test for the birth of true strikers. He could have very well been one of them if the project had started earlier, but that isn't reality. They're the timeline he didn't get to choose, but even so, he's the gatekeeper they have to beat if they want to bloom and for Japanese football to be reborn. To further evolve Japan into a country that is a real contender at the international level, Aiku in flow stops their whole attack. Aiku is an amazing example of tall poppy syndrome. He wanted to stand out, and the higher-ups didn't want that the slightest, so they cut him down while he was still young and impressionable, when he was more likely to blindly listen because adults know better, right? But he found his new path, a new ego for the sake of him that no one can ever take away from him again. I hope that for you, the viewer, that you find that thing, that joy unique only to you, and that you don't let anyone bring you down for pursuing or doing it. Whether it be someone famous, an artist, musician, content creator, or anything, please don't let people kill that passion of yours and take away your dream. Winners adjust to their challenge, and if your challenge is people who try to talk you down for you doing you, then prove them wrong or move forward past them. That will make you victorious and be in a better place than they could ever be. Your joy, your passion, your dream is for you, no one else. So follow it through. Real friends, real supporters are the ones who will cheer you on and encourage you and not make you conform to their ideals or try to make you be like everyone else. Individualism can be really difficult when you're afraid of backlash or criticism, not just from random people, but people you know or are close with. Aiku shows that even if you have it stripped away from you, you can always find it again. Don't let anyone else tell you how to be you or drag you down to them. The U-20's counterattack nearly gets a goal as Gagamaru has to gamble where Shido is going to shoot. His bet is wrong initially, but then he pulls off the best save in the series thus far with an acrobatic ass handstand block as he yells Shachihoko, a Japanese sea monster that kinda looks like him when he's in that pose. This save gets me fucking ecstatic. I'm like, yo, oh my god. Even got Shido going like, what the fuck was that? Like, bro, if you didn't just pull some crazy freak shit not too long ago, it's just goosebumps and giddy back to back as Rayo needs to clear it. But nah, you know how long he's been watching his boy toy Nagi for? He knows him better than anyone else. And the chameleon copies Nagi's lift tap into a jumping turn from earlier in the match. And it's none other than Nagi who receives the pass for a counterattack. Holy shit, they got the non-striker players having some hype ass moments too. Like, the defensive highlights and moments are actually so fucking gas, it's indescribable. The defenders have Barou all figured out, so now he has to change his objective. Look for the darkness within the light Isagi is creating. This will lead him to flow. With the aid of Karasu backing up the attack, Isagi can break through. He's open for goal. Not even Aiku is in reach. He can finally... The fuck? Sae's here? God damn, he saw through all that? This nearly sank Isagi's chance, but it's not over till it's over. Fighting till the very end, he's just one step away. Sae does an insane ultra technical light shove that completely throws Isagi off balance, meaning he can't use his direct shot. The push is so advanced and subtle that it doesn't get called for a foul as well. The opportunity totally dies. But then, Rin out of nowhere yelling, Sae wasn't the only one who predicted his best play. It was none other than the other Isagi. Aiku's on Rin's tail, making that 3 people who saw it. Rin's now the one who's one step away.
Jump out at the soul, jump out at the soul. Had to turn my phone, yeah, had to turn the tone. Had to turn my diamonds till they smoking in the tone.
The king has arrived on the scene. Not even two defenders can hold him back. In the last stretch, my glorious king emerges from the darkness and feasts on Isagi's light, scoring an equalizing goal. That dark, electrifying aura, his demonic eyes, and that lion aura. Nah, don't get me started, bro. I'm gonna start geeking. And to finish it off with that celebration, that's literally my exact reaction. But how did he score? Where did Barou come from? He just disappeared for a bit. He didn't disappear. He was erased. His playstyle got instantly read, so he had to move on to the next stage, which was hunting down the plays Isagi made when he evolved. He can't predict or read Isagi's plays, but there is someone who can. Rin, his boyfriend. Barou targeted their relationship. Okay, I'll stop now. Barou waited in the shadows waiting for Isagi to pass to Rin. But how can Barou visualize Rin's movements? Well, that's easy, of course. Isagi and Rin are so synced up, they're basically one and the same to Isagi's. God damn, one of the most illogical players just gave some banger-ass rational reasoning on how his play worked out. It's actually so twisted how good the logic is, because he's right. Rin and Isagi are very similar. They're almost one-to-one, except Rin's got some better stats. They've been linking up so perfectly in play from minute 1 of this match. Man, there's some genius-ass writing. Then Barou gets a yellow card for uncivilized stripping. There's laugh after laugh with this guy on the field. Like, oh my god. It would have been Isagi's goal if Sae didn't show us how much better he is than everyone on the field. Reading the field, passing, scoring, technique, he's just in another league. Literally. To continue performing at a higher level to win, Isagi comes to the conclusion that he has to move whilst believing in everyone's trances. They achieved those trances by challenging themselves, and this is the last piece to win this match. Just like what Ego said at the start, they all need to be in flow to win. Isagi and Rin have a little moment where they're thinking parallel things about each other. Rin's like, that last play in this match has started to revolve around Isagi as the center. But Isagi's like, Rin is undoubtedly still the center of Blue Lock. Rin is going to devour Isagi, and Isagi is going to devour Rin. Oh, they're so cute together. Okay, I'll stop. Rin vs Sae for most of the match is the same as before. Sae is so far beyond Rin's reach, just like how it was when their dream ended. Rin can barely manage to keep up, and as long as he thinks of such things like he's still Sae's little brother, he will never be able to surpass him. Sae, late in the game, score tied up at 3-3, starts flexing on everyone. Like, metaphorically whipped out his dick. Only the idiots that can keep up with him will get to see what happens next. His aura's got all these random numbers flowing, which is symbolizing his character and calculated playstyle. Quick, efficient moves that are pinpoint and flawless to score, whether it's him doing it or not. His dribbling style is a passive one, unlike Baichira's or Yukimiya's. He observes the opponent's movement and rhythm, then blows past with a counter dribble to those movements. Beautiful destruction, or to destroy beautifully, is Sae's football. That's why he picked Shido and not Rin. He wanted an egoist outside of his formulas and calculations. He sought out a problem no one could solve before he did. He is just now starting to get serious, and no one stands a chance. Not even Rin, who used to stand side by side with him. The same blood flows through Rin's veins, so it's not impossible to beat him. Shido's about to go for a hat trick, but Rin stops him with his face once again. Rin spotted the most beautiful place, which even had Sae going like, oh? Isagi notices that wasn't something Rin would usually go for. Something's off. He's switching styles just to contain Sae. This late in the game, it's something only Rin can see. Blue Lock's counterattack starts and all the boys are rushing forward. Someone who's been a little too quiet compared to his usual self arrives for this penultimate attack. The last piece, it could only be Baichira, Isagi's day one boy toy. Yo, that panel of them running together is tough. Barou tries to steal the ball this late into the match from Isagi, and to make it funny, Nagi's like, don't waste this chance, Rayo got us. So Baichira speeds things up, taking the ball for himself and entering his flow. He puts on a beautiful display, absolute dribbling masterclass past every defender, including Aiku. Holy shit, past Aiku? This is definitely going to be a goal. Except, out of nowhere, Mr. U-20's ace striker clutches up with a banger last-minute defensive save. After bro's clutch of the century, he exclaims he's going to marry a Hollywood actress. Bro, shit is too funny. Blue Lock thinks Sae's looking for a pass to Shido in their counterattack, but Sae's like, I treat all strikers equally, unexpectedly passing to the forwards of the U-20 team. They nearly get a goal after blowing by EryiZ and Hiyori, having switched partners to counter them, but Ryo clutches up. The second ball is still in play, and Japan's ace Sendo gets another shot at goal to only get blocked by Nagi and Barou, who clash heads. Sae, who receives the ball, does the unthinkable. He passes behind him to fucking Aiku, who's moved this far up, and he's like, you know I used to be a striker, right? Though the selfish captain gets his shot blocked by the other self-centered captain. This back and forth sequence is a fucking nail-biter. You genuinely cannot anticipate anything that's about to happen. You just have to keep reading and see for yourself what events will unravel. Sae does a corner kick that he calculated Rin could barely not reach, and it's for Shido, not Aiku. What would be GG's for Blue Lock gets bailed out by Rin v2. Isagi reflexively moved to the spot Rin couldn't because he's focused on Sae. Isagi won't even allow Rin to lose in peace to his brother. He just wanted to fight alone, but Blue Lock keeps biting back at his football. They don't let Rin be alone, and this feeling, it's fucking disgusting. Rin is looking feral, man. Holy. I thought he was going to be on some power friendship type shit, but nah, this is way cooler. Rin shockingly pulls a Barou, stealing the ball from Hiyori. He starts going Vegeta of all that I didn't care anymore type shit. Revenge, rivals, Sae, Isagi, Blue Lock, none of it matters. All that ties him down is sickening. He realizes he was only feeling tied down because he was expecting answers from someone that wasn't himself. He's having an epiphany. He's the one who was lukewarm. He's the disgusting one, and the one who needs to be crushed isn't Sae, it's himself. This is where the final attack begins, and Rin does these U-20 motherfuckers dirty. Unadulterated disrespect in the way he humiliated these guys. Instead of going in a straight line, which is the fastest and most efficient way to try and score, something that Sae fucking definitely would have done, he intentionally goes out to face off with each defender. His new playstyle, whilst he's in the flow, is to beat opponents at their very best. In this instance, he's beating them at their own game. He's shit-talking Nero, the speedy defender, then speed blitzes him. Oh hell nah, I can't even watch what's about to happen. He bests Aiku by managing to slip and stay behind him, using his center of gravity to flip Mr. Doberman, and manages to avoid the foul too. Then Isagi, the only one who can link up with him, yells at Rin to look at him, but Rin refuses to listen. Don't try to ruin his flow, Isagi. It's down to luck to stop Rin, and with Aiku and Shido trying to stop him, it hinders his shot just enough to miss. 1 minute of overtime left, and now it's beautiful destruction versus hideous destruction. Rin's newfound flow that's utterly unpredictable and is a perfect contrast to Sae's style. Besides, if he wants to prove and show he's the best, what's a more fitting way than beating your enemy at their own game? It's rather devastating and demoralizing to have someone beat you using your strong point or weapon against you, right? Rin's displaying nothing but total dominance and superiority over his opponents fighting this way. No one can stop Sae in this last minute. Isagi, Barou, Nagi, everyone's failing. But amidst all this chaos, this magnificent panel shows Isagi spotting Rin running straight for Sae. Sae is berating Rin, trying to bring him down. Him missing that last shot was proof of his limit. Rin can never become the best in the world. All he can do is live in Sae's shadow. Yet, he can still make that face. A feral one that supposedly looks like the same one as the one when Sae told him to start playing football with him. Rin's not tolerating any of this bullshit, trying to bind down his ego. He's already sickened by the realization of his lukewarmness. The one whose ego and football is half-assed is his. Brother of a genius, partner, rival. He's not something convenient in their lives that adheres to their value system. Especially, he's now done with being Itoshi-Sae's little brother. He is him, the egoist Itoshi Rin. A spectacle is put on show as the brothers battle for one last dance. This sequence is just beautiful, man. Sae pulls out his bag of tricks, but this time, Rin can perfectly keep up. Then he tries to pull that move, the one he ended their dream with. However, in this last moment, Rin surpassed Sae and was able to anticipate and intercept the move. Rin finally beat his brother. His awakening was indeed the prelude to victory, like Ego said. The arrival of this new monster gave birth to our new hero. Subtly slipping behind all the defenders going unnoticed, the ball even going beyond Aiku's reach. In the final minute, our hero emerges onto the scene. Isagi, who's been perfectly synced up with Rin this entire match and was the only one who believed in his chance to beat Sae, reflexively appeared at the perfect spot. The final puzzle piece falls and Isagi is finally able to line up his direct shot. The last piece he needed is revealed to be luck. He takes a shot and scores a game-winning goal. 4-3, the final whistle blows and Blue Lock have won. Those last few panels were a chef's kiss. Absolute beauty to look at. So visually stunning. The celebration pose he hits is so tough. Then the team celebration panel, oh my god, so gorgeous. Everyone on the team is so pumped, all running towards and grabbing Isagi while he sees riding Nagi's face. Man, this shit got me crying. Type shit. This match created a place where football was the hottest, so it gave birth to a new GOAT striker. Shido's like, yo, why didn't you pass it straight away? We could have won that easily. Sae's like, yeah, but Rin interrupted, so basically Sae made a mistake. Wow, Mr. Genius made a mistake? Crazy. I see it as he wanted to show he's not like the other U-20 bums, and Rin's antics aren't going to work on him because he's better. But they did in fact work, costing them the match. His error did in Shido Sae's contact info though, so dub for Shido. Aiku's like, guess you called down luck to win, and I'm like, yo. That shit was so satisfying the way it came back, but this time it was in Isagi's favor. It's too genius. Sae comes over as Rin's having a bit of a moment and says he was wrong. He thought Japan would never produce a proper striker. This is the moment where you think like, oh my god, corny, he's gonna finally tell his little bro he can do it, but nah. Sae tells him that the guy who was able to draw out Rin's instincts and who will change Japanese football is Isagi, and egos like him could have what it takes. Rin's face is appalled. Like, look at this, man. After hearing that, his facial expression 180 got him looking distraught. Shit, I'd probably be too. He expected his Ni-chan to finally warm up to him, and nah. It's Isagi out of everyone that he says can change Japanese football. There could literally be nothing worse to hear for Rin. Then our new hero of Blue Lock tells Japan he's going to bring them a World Cup victory.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Isagi tries to cheer up Rin in the locker room, saying it was thanks to Rin teaching him the mechanics of luck that helped him score today. But he tells Isagi some very mean things that I'm not going to repeat, and this moment is the official declaration of their rivalry. Isagi said at the start of the match that he'll change the world with his goals. In this match, he very much indeed did what he said, and changed the world with his goal, as Japanese football from now on will never be the same again. Isagi was the one protagonist this match needed. Quick little tangent about Rin's awakening and Isagi's goal. As I'm writing this, the last 2 episodes of season 2 just dropped, and oh my god, I nearly shed tears at how good they did this final sequence. It was honest to god jaw-droppingly beautiful, especially contrasted with how inconsistent and bummed the animation was majority of the time. But they really fucking nailed it for this one, and for my money's worth exceeded even the manga, which was already peak. Like, I'm genuinely astonished and so fucking glad they did it justice. It even has me ranking this as the best goal of the match. It was truly a spectacle that I'm beyond happy with, and it makes me even more ecstatic that I held hope for season 2, unlike some people who are like, it's cooked, it's unsavable. Like, I mean, like, it is still kind of like cooked, but I like that last bit. That last sequence where they added the black bars, sexy art animation, sound design, and the snowing in Rin and Sae's 1v1, like how it was back in the flashback. God. It was peak beyond comprehension. Absolute cinema. That 1v1 had me acting like Shido for real, and the finisher was Isagi's goal. The roars of that one kid to the crowd screaming is too good, I can't. My hero, my GOAT of Blue Lock, Isagi, in an interview and everyone chanting his name. I'm just too happy with what I just witnessed. That scream after his goal was so raw and worth every bit of shit animation I had to watch. Anyway, let's move on. Luck coming back in the best fashion possible was just, oh, so damn cool. It was the reason he lost to Rin in their second battle, but now it's the piece he needed to become a hero. Isn't luck just pure and simple coincidence? Well, yeah, if you're a loser, that's what you'd think. Luck isn't something found just anywhere. It's something that descends only upon those standing where it will drop. Like getting shit on by a pigeon is bad luck, quote unquote, but you could have avoided it beforehand had you noticed the shit already on the ground around you and the pigeons above you. Or drawing a losing ticket in a festival game, but the owner put in no winning tickets. Can that be called bad luck? The same applies in football. Think of the 90 minutes in a match as a series of inevitabilities and coincidences. In Isagi and Rin's second battle, everyone apart from Isagi and Rin just became spectators when they saw Bachira heading for goal. Because Rin saw Isagi heading for it and thought there's a chance the ball would rebound if Isagi blocked it, which he did. There's a chance Rin would have still received the ball had he slowed down like everyone else, but he wouldn't be in a good position to score straight away. In other words, the pigeon shit wouldn't fall there. So he moved towards where luck would drop on him and he could immediately make the goal. He went to the place where he could draw a winning ticket, the only person to wait for his luck. Though it could have very much gone the other way. wait, as in the ball falling in the other team's position. When luck does come around, those who sit around and watch will waste that chance, which is what happened in that last sequence. Those who are prepared for the possibility train to seize the opportunity and have determined where that chance will fall. Then they lie in wait to be smiled upon by the goddess of luck. Isagi was prepared this time. He waited, then moved to the spot where luck would drop whilst everyone else was watching, and it rewarded him in his favor because he didn't squander his chance this time. I just thought this being the last factor to decide both Isagi's biggest loss and biggest win was done exceedingly well. Like, the writing in this moment was too good to be true. I genuinely had my jaw dropped and smiled, kicking my feet in the air and shit when I saw that last puzzle piece drop and be revealed to be luck. Just such a cool way to tie in that concept or idea, and it's something that permeated the whole match. Nagi's goal had luck, for instance, and he seized his opportunity when it came. The entire match was coincidences and anomalies, and whoever took advantage of that the most came out on top. I love this arc. It's been, honest to God, one of my favorite reads in recent times. Anyway, it's been a bloody long yap. I think it's well overdue to end this video off. If you have any thoughts or opinions about the video, series, or topic, leave it all down in the comments below. I would love to see what you have to say about it. I don't know when this video will come out, but regardless, I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you for staying this long. Other than that, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next one. We're gonna be talking about fucking slam dunk, baby.